With the ashes of Troy settling behind them, the Greek heroes set sail for home. But for Odysseus, this journey would transform into an agonizing decade of survival. Here begins the true cinematic epic, bridging the end of a war with a desperate fight for survival. Commanding a fleet of 12 ships, Odysseus departs the ruined shores of Troy. While the voyage to his home in Ithaca should have been brief, it instead marks the beginning of a 10-year ordeal that will test the absolute limits of human endurance. The fleet is heavy with weary warriors, their spirits lifted by the hope of home. Though the voyage begins in peace and camaraderie, this calm will soon be broken by their first self-inflicted trial. Seeking supplies, the fleet drops anchor at the shores of the Cicones, former allies of Troy. Odysseus makes the tactical decision to disembark his men to secure provisions, but this standard stop quickly spirals into an uncontrollable incident. In accordance with ancient custom, Odysseus and his men strike the city of Ismaros with overwhelming force. The raid yields a massive haul of spoils, including rich wine and seized wealth, seemingly securing what they need to finish their journey in comfort. Odysseus urges a swift departure, but the intoxicating thrill of victory drowns out his commands. The soldiers linger on the shores, caught up in a reckless feast. Here, the flaw of unchecked desire makes its first appearance. By choosing immediate pleasure over the foresight of their commander, the crew seals their own fate. This act of disobedience becomes a recurring motif, serving as a warning that a failure to exercise restraint always demands a heavy toll. While the Greeks sleep, the survivors of Ismaros flee inland to rally neighboring tribes. A massive, organized force gathers in the darkness, fueled by a desire for vengeance. A devastating counterattack is prepared against the unsuspecting invaders. At dawn, the Ciconian army descends on the beach. Caught off guard and still sluggish from the night's revelry, the Greek forces are met with a brutal slaughter, turning their previous euphoria into a reality of consequence. The cost of their arrogance is paid in blood, as 6 warriors from every ship fall on the shores of Ismaros. For Odysseus, these unnecessary deaths forge the first links in a chain of lifelong guilt. Shattered and grieving, the surviving Greeks scramble aboard their galleys, fleeing the cursed shores. This frantic retreat serves as a dark omen that their path to Ithaca will be anything but peaceful. Watching the slaughter, Zeus unleashes a furious gale in response to the Greeks' transgressions. The 12 ships are swallowed by a terrifying tempest, tossing the vessels like leaves. Human error has now invited the wrath of the gods. Stripped of sails and blinded by the storm, the fleet is driven across the sea for 9 relentless days. Their sense of direction is lost, as the journey transitions from a navigational challenge into a primal fight for survival. The voyage to Ithaca is now a distant dream, replaced by a terrifying reality. They have been blown off the map, drifting into uncharted, mythic waters where normal rules no longer apply and the landscape becomes supernatural. For millennia, scholars have tried to map this lost route to the shores of Sicily and southern Italy. It represents the ultimate blending of geography and myth, where the crew is no longer just sailing the sea, but navigating the edges of human understanding. As the shores of home fade into myth, a suffocating dread takes root among the men. Whispers of doubt echo through the wooden hulls, shaking their trust in their commander and planting the seeds for the conflicts to come. Odysseus is revealed not as an infallible hero, but as a deeply burdened mortal leader. He carries the weight of his inability to control his men, knowing this voyage will test his cunning, his patience, and his right to command. The tragedy at Ismaros is just the beginning of a recurring motif, the price of excess. From the lotus eaters to the sun god's cattle, the lesson remains the same. Survival requires absolute restraint and unyielding endurance. Beneath the churning waves, the true master of the oceans has begun to stir. The storm is merely a prelude to Poseidon's wrath, and while the men believe they have survived the worst, they remain dangerously unaware of the god lying in wait. The indulgence at Ismaros has sparked a disastrous chain reaction, launching the Greeks into a world of divine retribution. In the next chapter, they drift to a strange shore, where a mysterious fruit offers the most dangerous temptation of all, forgetting home entirely.